Hello, I'm Penny Simkin, and I'm here to talk with you today about fluids in labor. I've been thinking a lot about this lately because there have been some publicity on the internet about food and fluids, and I've had a lot of thoughts in my mind. I just want to share some of these with you. Because we all know that women have to get adequate fluids during labor, and the two ways to get them are by drinking or by IV. And if she has too few fluids, she can become dehydrated. That can interfere with the progress of labor, etc., and actually cause some problems for the baby. If she gets too much, she can be over-hydrated, and actually that can slow labor as well, but also can result in some effects on the baby that are rather serious, and then after birth can interfere with breastfeeding. So I want to get into that. But the big question is, you know, how much is enough? How much is enough fluid? And this is something that I think our medical community has been trying to control for generations, how much fluid the woman gets. And unfortunately, they've never gotten it right because they keep changing it. And with the advent of epidurals, where women get, they could get quite a lot of IV fluid over the course of, say, 12 hours with an epidural, they could get a lot more fluid than they would normally drink in the course of that time. So I'd like to just toss out a few thoughts. One is that women are often encouraged to drink by us in the alternative birth community, and those who are promoting a midwifery approach to birth. We will make sure that we don't need an IV, and the woman will drink her fluids. But then sometimes we push those fluids. And I, as a doula, have done that so many times. I'll hold the glass or the beverage out in front of her, and I'll say, take a drink. Oh, can you take some more? Yeah. Oh, take some more. Oh, good, good, good. Plenty of fluids. And I was kind of forcing the fluids on her and thought I was doing the right thing because I'd always heard the more fluids you can drink, the better. But we've had some recent research, particularly by a group in Norway, Moen et al., and they found that you can drink too much in labor and actually slow down the progress in the second stage and cause what is called hyponatremia in the baby. Hyponatremia being a loss of sodium. And babies that are truly hyponatremic are lethargic, and they have nausea, and they appear unwell. Now, so I stopped pushing fluids when I started reading this. I think our rule should be make sure they're available. Make sure she knows they're available. So after every contraction or two, we could hold a glass of something or a cup of something out and say, would you like something to drink? And if she says, we just put it back. We don't say, oh, come on, you can drink more. And that will help assure that it's her thirst that is guiding her. And only if she is vomiting a lot or, isn't drinking at all, then we'd let the midwife or the nurse suggest a different course of action. So that's one thing. I think that partners, doulas, should offer it and not try to force it on the woman if she does not indicate that she wants it. Now, then the aftermath, let's say that a woman has had an epidural or got IV fluids throughout labor, because this is often a custom in a hospital without even demonstrated need. It's just a routine that is done from the time she comes in, she gets IV fluids, and that continues until after the baby is born. Or there are times when it's indicated for some medicines like Pitocin, if she's being induced, or when she's getting an epidural, they want to be sure that she has adequate blood volume to prevent a significant drop in her blood pressure. And there's a lot of argument about how much fluid she needs. Well, the problem comes after the baby is born. First of all, the mother often has a huge amount of swelling in her ankles and her feet, and someone who said, I could only wear my husband's slippers. That was the only thing I could get my feet into, because she has all this tissue fluid that's accumulated from the IV fluids that were given. But worse than that is often she's severely engorged. Her breasts are severely engorged, and it's very difficult for the baby to latch on and for her to get a letdown going. So when the woman is engorged, the baby isn't getting the food, then the lactation consultant comes in and starts a protocol of pumping and trying to establish this milk supply and get the flow of milk going. But the other problem there is that the baby, during labor, received an awful lot of fluid, and the baby comes out much heavier than the baby really is. It's water weight. And one of the big problems is this baby comes out, say the baby weighs 9 pounds, 4 ounces. And then the next day, the baby's weight has gone down to 8.5 or something like that. Everyone freaks out. And they think the baby's losing weight, the baby's becoming dehydrated, now we've got to push the fluids, and the breast milk isn't in yet, so let's start the formula, or give lots of water. And that, so that's our start with breastfeeding, is that this kid has lost a lot of the water weight, which was mistaken for dehydration and inadequate nourishment. And we wind up starting off on the wrong foot. And the mother also thinks there's something wrong with her baby right from the beginning. So we have a mother who doesn't have that confidence in her baby, in her ability to nurse. She needs all kinds of consultants to get the milk supply going. It's not a good start. And many women feel kind of incompetent or like, I can't do this. That's no way to start motherhood. I want to tell you about one doctor that I met in Phoenix, a pediatrician at one of the teaching hospitals in Arizona. And she teaches her residents in pediatrics, pay no attention to the birth weight. Wait for 2 or 3 days and then take the weight. That's the baby's real weight. And and start there rather than starting with birth weight. So let the water weight go, let the baby get rid of all that excess. And then we wind up not freaking out about this baby. So I really wish we'd all think about that and think about giving the baby time to get rid of that extra fluid before we sound all the alarms that our baby isn't doing well. Anyway, you can tell I'm kind of hot on this one. I've been thinking about it a lot. I hope I'm coherent, but do give some thought to that. This would be a policy that would be worth checking out if you are an expectant parent and you're thinking about going to a particular hospital. You might want to find out if they do routine IVs and if there are any protocols that guard against over-hydration of mother and hyponatremia in the baby. So on that note, I'll say goodbye, but I will ask if you could share any feedback, any thoughts, comments with me. I'd love to hear. I'm doing these little messages, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. Thank you very much.